They need the president out of office. And in order to make the president look insane, silly, and incompetent, they have to cite statistics. The problem is those statistics, like a declining death rate, don't work for them. So what do? They attack the declining death rate as if that's the bad guy. Again, an emotionally laden argument, not a reasonable one, which is all the left ever does. So as predicted, what did I tell you a couple weeks ago, Joe, about the Trump rally? What did I tell you? It would only be a matter of time, right, before the media tries to pin the Trump Tulsa rally. People are going to die. Trump had a rally. Did I not say that, Joe? Remember that one? People are going to die. Trump met in Tulsa, had a rally. So, well, of course, it didn't take long. Here's a tweet by the Washington Post. As predicted, Trump's Tulsa rally protests more than likely linked to coronavirus surge, health officials say. I told you it was only a matter of time. I'm wondering if that's going to get as much coverage as this story in Yahoo News. You know, the actual protests that happened all over the country, most people were not wearing masks. The so-called protests, many of them, some were not. Some turned violent. Some turned into clear chaos and havoc being wreaked throughout America's cities. But here's a Yahoo story. I'm wondering if this will get as much publicity. Protests may have spread coronavirus, some cities say. I'm sure we'll see that in the nightly news every night, too, if you're worried about a rally in Tulsa in Oklahoma that, by the way, they said was lightly attended. So which one is it? It was not lightly attended, by the way, the Trump rally. But you say that Trump, oh, no, nobody showed up. They all embarrassed Trump. Trump's an idiot. But that's responsible for all these deaths. And if that's the case, how are the protests not? I'm just checking. Again, is this an artificially intelligent virus that only infects Trump supporters? I'm just checking to see if you're going to get equal coverage on that. The protests were not lightly attended, by the way. But that's your narrative at the Trump rally. So which one is the greater evil? If it's an evil, if you believe that premise for people to congregate in the time of coronavirus to express their political beliefs, if that's evil, which one's more evil? The air quotes lightly attended Trump rally that wasn't lightly attended, or the definitely not lightly attended rallies in just about every big city in America? Which one's the greater? The answer is you can't answer that question, of course, because you're a liar and a fraud. Showing you how they have you at maximum hysteria at all times. Here is the great Tom S. Elliott on Twitter over at Grabian. Here is a Grabian cut of the media that is clearly offended, really deeply offended, that the COVID death rate is going down. Not only going down, but going down dramatically.
Governors across the country in some of these hotspot states that it's good news that it's just younger people because they have a better survival rate.
That is the fallacy.
The president also points out the coronavirus death rate is down. That's true for now.
But the death toll, you can't celebrate it right now when you're seeing people heading into the hospital.
Because we've seen this story before. In some ways, it never really ended. In a lot of ways, it is worse than ever.
And of course, as we see younger people infected and going into the ICUs, it spreads to older populations. That death rate will change.
These people go home. These people infect their parents and their grandparents. Those people get sick. They end up in the ICU and they either die or they take it from somebody else that could have used it.
So actually the virus has become more dangerous because it can infect more people. It's more easily able to take root into communities. So it's changing in a worse way.
This is going to be catastrophe upon catastrophe. And just to say, hey, look at the death rate now is extremely superficial.
Does the U.S. need another stay-at-home order?
If the virus continues to rage like this, we have no choice.
The White House and their calculation, this is about trying to instill a sense of normalcy. Then we all know that life can't really feel like it's back to normal. Americans can't feel that they have the virus under control.
We have absolutely zero chance. And by zero chance, I mean zero, Z-E-R-O, zero chance of moving past this with Donald Trump in that job.
Death rates are going to go up following all of these large infections. And Dr. Fauci, again, is doing what he's been doing from the beginning. He's been telling you the truth, and you haven't want to hear it.
Again, folks, these are media hacks, losers, largely basement dwellers. Again, mac and cheese, hot dogs, boiled, probably not even cooked on a grill. Mama serving them. Here's your hot dogs, kids. Upset that the death rate from coronavirus has been going down dramatically. I got into a back and forth this morning on social media with another moron who can't distinguish the difference between positive cases and people who've died. What would you rather have? This is a very simple question. Would you rather have a large number of people dying or a fewer number of people infected? What do you care more about, infections or deaths? Well, the answer to sane people, again, sane not meaning the media people in any of those clips in that hot cut right there. I think you'd all rather have fewer people dying, correct? I'm just going to throw that out there. They can't have any of that. They're very upset about it because they need you at maximum red line stress all the time, all day. Why? Because it's not you they care about, it's the president. They need the president out of office, and in order to make the president look insane, silly, and incompetent, they have to cite statistics. The problem is those statistics, like a declining death rate, don't work for them. So what do? They attack the declining death rate as if that's the bad guy again. An emotionally laden argument, not a reasonable one, which is all the left ever does.
You just heard Dan Bongino.